Hi everyone, welcome back. Last week, Thursday, you were introduced to your vocabulary words, and our first reading for this section, which is conflict and compromise. We're going to continue on with week 3, conflict and compromise. So, Thursday again, we read this. We're going to move on to conflict resolution today. So when conflict arises, there are steps we can take to solve these problems. Because in life, we know that there's going to be times where we disagree with somebody. Hopefully you watched the Kid President video before this, where he talked a little bit about how to disagree in a good way. So how can we have a different opinion from someone? How can we disagree with somebody, but do it in a kind and peaceful way so we're not hurting anyone's feelings? So the Kid President talked about treating people, like understanding that this is a person and this is an opinion that is important to them too, just like your opinion is important to you. We need to always listen to the other side and then pause and take a couple deep breaths if you feel yourself getting angry during these disagreements. It's okay to disagree. What's not okay is to be mean to somebody because you disagree with them. So let's take a look at this picture here, which will go through some steps on how to solve a disagreement. So step 1, state the problem. Okay, so we should be stating our problem or what is bothering us with the person around us. Next, identify the cause of the problem. 3, suggest solutions to the problem. So, for example, in this one here, we see one girl jump roping, and it looks like the other kids aren't happy because she's the only one that's jump roping right now, where the other kids think that it would be fun if they could jump rope too. So they are seeing their problem, they are identifying the problem, which looks like the jump rope right there might be a little too small. Suggest solutions to the problem. So how could they solve this problem? Oh, it looks like we have a really small jump rope here, which is what she was playing with. And then it looks like we have an even bigger jump rope over here now where all the kids can play with. And then they attempt to solve the problem. So that's what's going on here. And step 5 is to reach out to experts, which is teachers, parents, adults, community helpers, to brainstorm possible solutions. So if you attempt to solve the problem and it still doesn't work out, you can always reach out to an adult and they will be able to help you find a solution to your problem as well. What I really like about this example is that nobody was mean to each other. Even the girl who was jump roping by herself, it looked like she wanted the other kids to be involved. So they were able to calmly disagree on something, calmly have a problem, and then work together to solve that problem. Let's go ahead and look at conflict in the classroom. So you might have some times where you have experienced conflict within your classroom. We're going to read a little bit about what that might look like, and then we'll talk about possible solutions. So I'm going to start right at the top here. You might have experienced conflict. In school, conflicts might happen in the classroom or on the playground. To prevent conflict, we treat each other with respect. We line up for activities, we take turns at recess, we play with everyone, and we follow the rules. When we choose not to do these things, we can create conflict. We all have opinions. You might have a different opinion than someone else. It is important, however, that we work together to prevent these conflicts. So, of course, there's going to be a time, whether you're at school or where you're at home, where you come to a disagreement with somebody, where there comes a problem. It is so important to just be respectful and to work calmly to find a good solution, like we did here in our conflict resolution. You guys are going to be practicing a little bit today of coming up with some conflicts that you might have experienced at home, school, in your city, or in your country. And then you have to find a conflict resolution to that problem. So let's brainstorm a little bit. When you go to come up with a conflict at home, have one in your head right now. What is a conflict you might have experienced at home? I'll give you 1 minute one couple seconds to think. You can pause the video if you need more time. Okay, so maybe a conflict that you had at home is if you have a sibling, maybe you both wanted to play on the Xbox at the same time. That's a conflict. Maybe you and your sibling both want it at the same time, and it's a one-player game and you both can't play at the same time. What could be a possible conflict resolution for this? Hopefully you have a couple that you thought of in your head. I have a few that I thought of too. One, maybe you set a timer and you take turns playing. So one sibling will go first for the first 30 minutes, and then another sibling will get to play after that for 30 more minutes. Another conflict resolution could be maybe instead of playing that one-player game, you find a game that can play 2 players and you can play together. This is something that you could talk through with your sibling to be able to find a kind solution that is both respectful to both sides. Okay? Because if something is important to you and you have an opinion for it, the person on the other side also really has strong feelings about this too. So it's so important to be respectful, to listen, and take some pauses if we need to. All right, again, you will be completing another assignment that goes with this, so be sure to download that into Notability, and then you can resubmit that to Schoology for credit. Have a great day, everyone.